Now, I assume that you're getting advice from epidemiologists and from medical experts on how to hit the ground running should you be elected. I also assume that you have the pick of the best people out there, because Trump did not pick the best people. And if in the cases that he did, they didn't last very long if they disagreed with him. When you enter the White House on January 20th, 2021, after you take that oath, will you appoint people from both sides of the aisle? Because there are so many Republicans who want desperately to work hard to restore this country.
Yes, absolutely. Look, this isn't a partisan issue. I know it sounds, it's almost trite to say it. There's nothing partisan about this. And there are a lot of Republicans and a lot of Republican docs and scientists as well that know what has to be done. Look, one of the things that I think is really important, Stephen, is that, for example, every morning, well, let me put it this way, at least 4 mornings a week, I get at 10 o'clock a briefing that lasts for an hour to an hour and a half from some of the leading experts in the world on dealing with this coronavirus and how to deal with it. And I usually get about a 30 to 40 page report every single morning. And
do you actually read that report, sir? Because that is no longer presidential. That is no longer considered presidential.
Not only do I read it, we then go through it page by page. That's why it takes close to an hour and a half.
Coronavirus, right? Kung flu. Said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
None of us have ever been told to slow down on tests. In fact, we will be doing more tests.
Trump has this sort of track record of disregarding and undermining science. His administration has sidelined scientific data, scientific advice, its approach to environmental and health policies. Since coronavirus hit, it's sort of been a continuation of that attitude where the president hasn't really respected or abided by what various scientific advisors have said at various points.
Nobody knows this stuff better than me.
Nobody knows more about taxes than I do, and income than I do.
Nobody knows more about construction than I do.
Nobody knows more about campaign finance than I do.
I know more about drones than anybody.
Nobody knows much more about technology, this type of technology, certainly, than I do.
Nobody knows more about technology than me.
Nobody in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump. I know the H-1B, I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me. I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me. I understand things. I comprehend very well, okay? Better than, I think, almost anybody.
And by the way, who knew the other side of the picture better than me? I knew it.
Nobody knows more about environmental impact statements than me. I understand the power of Facebook, maybe better than almost anybody. I know more about renewables than any human being on Earth. Nobody knows more about polls than me.
I know more about courts than any human being on earth.
I know more about steelworkers than anybody that's ever run for office.
I know more about golf than Obama knows.
Nobody knows more about banks than I do.
Nobody knows more about trade than me. Well, obviously, he doesn't know about nuclear weapons. I know more about nuclear weapons than he'll ever know.
I understand the tax laws better than almost anyone.
Who knows more about lawsuits than I do? I'm the king. I know more about offense and defense than they will ever understand.
Nobody even understands it but me. It's called devaluation.
I understand money better than anybody.
I understand the system better than anybody. Nobody knows more about debt than I do.
Nobody knows the game better than me.
I know more about contributions than anybody.
And who knows more about the word apprentice than Donald Trump?
I understand politicians better than anybody. Nobody knows politicians better than me.
Who knows the other side better than me? Who knows the other side better than me?
I think I know more about the other side than almost anybody. And I understand the other side. Perhaps I understand it better than anybody else. I was the fair-haired boy. Nobody knows more about it than me. I know more than these politicians. These guys don't know anything.
I know a lot. I know more than I'm ever going to tell you.